Okay, picture this. You're cruising down an expressway at about 80 kilometers per hour. It's early morning, and this thick, heavy fog has just completely settled over the asphalt. Your visibility? It's limited to maybe just a few car lengths ahead. It's tense, right? You're gripping the steering wheel a bit tighter, relying entirely on your own eyes to spot a pair of red taillights suddenly emerging from the mist. Now, imagine a vehicle 200 meters ahead of you, completely out of your line of sight, totally hidden around a blind curve, suddenly slams its brakes because of an accident. Well, welcome to this Life Tales Explainer, where we explore the everyday tech that's literally changing how we live. Today we're looking at something that's going to fundamentally change that foggy highway scenario forever, the era of the car that talks.
See, in that foggy scenario, human reaction time is basically your biggest bottleneck. By the time your eyes actually process those red taillights, send a signal to your brain, and your foot finally moves to the brake pedal, precious seconds and dozens of meters have already been lost. But what if your dashboard knew about the danger before you did? What if the car way up ahead could wirelessly warn your vehicle the exact millisecond its driver slammed on the brakes? When you really stop and think about it, this is a massive shift in how we navigate the world. We're talking about completely bypassing the physical limitations of human sight and reaction speed.
So let's really dive into this. For the entire history of the automobile, every single driver has had to discover danger individually. You're effectively sitting in an isolated metal box, just kind of guessing what the other metal boxes around you are going to do based purely on visual cues. But tomorrow? You don't have to be isolated. It turns out we're rapidly moving from this world of disconnected individual observers into a fully connected network of shared awareness.
And that brings us to the core concept of this explainer: vehicle-to-vehicle communication, or V2V. At its core, V2V is exactly what it sounds like. It's a technology that allows cars to wirelessly exchange live, real-time data with the other vehicles around them. And we aren't talking about sending text messages here. We're talking about your car constantly whispering its position, its speed, its direction of travel, and its braking status to the cars around it, while simultaneously listening to what all of them are saying back.
Now this part brilliantly illustrates a point that causes a ton of consumer confusion. Right now, modern cars have ADAS, advanced driver assistance systems. These use cameras, radar, and ultrasonic sensors. But ADAS simply means my car detects something. It's still totally limited by line of sight. It can't see through a brick building or around a massive truck. V2V, on the other hand, is entirely different. V2V means another car told me something. Sensors just look around your immediate environment, but V2V actually listens to a whole network of other vehicles.
Section 1. The Crucible. Navigating Indian Roads.
To really grasp why V2V is such a game changer, we can't just look at pristine, empty test tracks. We have to ground this tech in a complex, mixed traffic environment, like the incredibly chaotic reality of Indian roads, for example. I mean, traffic conditions there can change in a fraction of a second. You're sharing the road with massive trucks, buses, unpredictable motorcycles, scooters, auto rickshaws, pedestrians, you name it. Throw in sudden lane changes, unmarked roads, blind turns, and terrible visibility, and your predictability drops to basically zero. In an environment this complex, an extra layer of non-visual awareness isn't just a luxury, it's absolutely crucial.
Let's actually walk through what this looks like in practical driving scenarios. Imagine someone slams their brakes around a blind curve. Boom! Your V2V system issues an emergency brake warning instantly. Approaching a blind intersection where another vehicle is speeding, you get a blind intersection alert. If traffic suddenly grinds to a halt miles ahead, you get a traffic queue notice, which is huge for preventing those terrifying highway pileups. And if an ambulance is approaching from behind, completely blocked by traffic, you receive an emergency vehicle warning long before you can even hear the siren. In every single one of these scenarios, V2V gives you crucial extra seconds to react. And at highway speeds, a few seconds literally translates to a massive amount of stopping distance.
Moving on to Section 2, the bottleneck, the network effect.
All right, as amazing as all this sounds, we have to talk about the bottleneck. Imagine just one person. If you are the only person on the road who buys a car with V2V communication, or say only 1 out of 100 cars has it, the benefit to you is almost zero. Why? Because your extremely smart, talkative car has absolutely no one else to talk to.
But watch what happens when, let's say, 50 out of 100 cars on that exact same road are connected. Everything changes. Suddenly you have a much richer, safer information web. Even if the car directly in front of you isn't connected, the truck 3 cars ahead might be. And that's enough to bounce a hazard warning right back to you.
So the crucial point is when we reach 90 connected cars out of 100, it fundamentally transforms the safety of the entire road network. It's the classic network effect in action. The value of the technology just skyrockets as more people participate. Simply put, everyone benefits when everyone is connected.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What about the millions of older cars already out there on the road? We obviously can't just sit around and wait 20 years for everyone to buy a brand new, factory-installed system. Thankfully, the industry gets this. To integrate legacy cars, we're going to see aftermarket communication dongles you can literally just plug into older vehicles, specialized smartphone apps that tap into the network, and massive fleet integrations for commercial trucks and taxis. The whole goal is to bridge this gap quickly so nobody gets left out of the network.
Now, what's really interesting, and honestly, a bit terrifying about this slide is the cybersecurity challenge. We have to weigh a genuine hazard alert, which obviously saves lives, against an injected fake brake signal, which would cause absolute chaos. Imagine a hacker broadcasting a message saying, "Obstacle ahead," when the route is completely clear. Hundreds of cars might suddenly slam on their brakes for a ghost hazard, causing a massive pileup. This is exactly why strict authentication and incredibly secure communication protocols are absolutely mandatory before this rolls out globally. But listen, even with all that heavy security, networks sometimes fail. So I want to reassure you regarding the system failsafes. The core engineering philosophy here is eyes plus ears plus V2V. It is absolutely not no network equals no safety. If you drive into a dead zone or the cellular system drops offline, your car doesn't suddenly become this dangerous weapon. You simply revert back to relying on your own human awareness and your vehicle's onboard ADAS sensors, just like you do right now. V2V is an additional safety layer, not an excuse to stop paying attention.
Section 3. Beyond safety, connected cities. Let's zoom out for a second from just the individual driver. To understand this on a macro level, we have to talk about V2X, which stands for Vehicle to Everything. V2V is just cars talking to cars, but V2X, that's a much broader ecosystem. This is where your car actually communicates with the infrastructure itself, like traffic signals and roadwork zones. It communicates with pedestrian smartphones and with broader cellular networks. Imagine a smart traffic light telling your dashboard the exact speed you need to maintain so you literally never hit a red light again.
The ripple effects of this V2X ecosystem, they are staggering. If traffic lights can ease congestion based on live data, we could eliminate those frustrating phantom traffic jams that just seem to happen for no reason at all. Smoother traffic flow means drastically better overall fuel and energy efficiency across the board. Aggregated data allows cities to completely optimize their urban planning. Emergency response times will plummet because ambulances can basically part traffic automatically. And crucially, this interconnected web of data is exactly what's needed to support safe, reliable, autonomous driving in the future.
Let's look at how this builds over time. Today, the relationship is super simple. Driver controls car. Tomorrow, it becomes driver, car, and other cars all sharing information. But in the near future, it's driver, car, other cars, road infrastructure, and the cloud all functioning as a single, interconnected digital ecosystem. Your car essentially becomes a highly advanced computing platform on wheels, continuously understanding exactly what is happening several miles ahead of you.
Section 4. Smarter buying decisions.
So what does this actually mean for you the next time you're at a dealership? Well, the definition of a smart car is changing dramatically. It's no longer just about popping the hood to check the engine horsepower or seeing how big the touchscreen is or counting the airbags. You need to start looking at the new smart car checklist. Look for advanced connectivity features. Ensure the car can receive over-the-air or OTA updates, so it can actually learn new communication standards as they evolve over time. Ask about the vehicle's cybersecurity measures and figure out how well its integrated ADAS can merge with future network data.
You know, here at LifeTales, our whole philosophy really boils down to this. Understanding how the world connects doesn't just make you knowledgeable. It helps you live smarter, and in this case, make significantly smarter decisions on the road. When you finally understand the difference between a car that just sees and a car that listens, you can invest in the kind of technology that actually protects you and your family. Which brings us to one final, slightly provocative thought. The technology is already here, the networks are actively being built, and the rules of the road are changing fast. But ultimately, it all comes down to the humans sitting behind the wheel. So I want to pose this question directly to you. Would you trust a car that brakes automatically just because another car, one you can't even see, told it to? It's a massive leap of faith in our digital infrastructure. Drop your honest answer down in the pinned comments below. I'd love to read them. And we'll see you in the next explainer.